All right, boys
Yeah,
official.
man. Yeah, man.
But the whole idea of like what I was telling you earlier is everybody has their own truth, and
Yes.
we are in the mindset, especially with social media, that like, hey, my truth is
The truth, bro.
the truth.
Yeah, no, yo, echo chambers is a real thing, and people get in these echo chambers and they really think that's what society is. You know, they really think that's how everybody thinks, and they think that people who don't think like that, they have to be crazy. They have to be the anomaly because they're so used to hearing what it is that they're used to hearing because they're in that echo chamber. So, yeah, man. But everybody has everybody's in a different echo chamber. Everybody has different experiences and perspectives and everything. So the only way you're really gonna learn is by
Having
engaging.
dialogue, like having
Absolutely.
a conversation with another person. If you don't hear the other side, you take the humanity out of the whole equation. And if
Okay,
you have no
and you're left to assumptions. You're left only to assumptions. You know, unless you think you're smart enough to, without going through somebody's experience, understand it and understand how they would think off of having that experience. You have to be the like smartest brain in the world. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're really going to learn that is by listening to the person who went through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
of course,
Yeah.
everybody blames social media, but
Mm.
I don't know. Responsibility ultimately falls on a human being, right? Just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Mark
yeah.
Zuckerberg gave you a knife doesn't mean go stab yourself in the back with it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It's kind of like how they say, it's not like money. Kind of like money doesn't make you bad or doesn't make you evil. It just kind of like reveals who you are. Like you know how yeah, just the more money you have, which basically the more power you have access to, that can reveal who you are. It's not like it really changes you. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of money,
Yes, sir.
um, tell us about this
Oh yeah,
box
let's
in the
talk
middle.
business, man. Yeah, business, man. So yeah, GWG is it's the name of my delivery and wholesale company that we're about to launch. It's gonna be based here in Houston. Very excited about it. So GWG, it's actually an acronym. It stands for Get It While I Got It. Yeah, so it's just all about having really high quality stuff. And we make it real convenient for people.
When you say stuff, what's the stuff?
So it's all hemp. Yeah, it's all hemp derived products. So so I'm from New Jersey, and in Jersey I have 2 licenses for cultivation and manufacturing. I'm in the process of getting that business up and going. But it's a very expensive process. There's a lot of like so much red tape, bro. It's like they make it very, very difficult to get up and going. Very expensive. Just a long process. And being here in Houston, so I came down here to Houston in 2020 to shoot a music video, and ended up meeting a girl, and she made me keep coming back, and now I live here.
Worked out.
Yeah, no, I love it here. But and then and being here, so so Jenny, she's called the key to the city because she's kind of the plug. She knows everybody. She's in everywhere. So she linked me with this person who has their own cannabis delivery company, and to my knowledge, Texas was not recreationally legal, so I didn't understand it. So I met him, and then I learned about this hemp market. So in 2018, the federal farm bill basically it legalized hemp derived products. So the THC content has to be like less than 3%, but yeah, so like CBD, Delta 8, THCA, all these things are now legal. And
Because of that federal law.
because of that federal law. And THCA, which the people who wrote the law definitely don't know cannabis that well. So THCA basically it's the same thing as regular THC. It's just tested at a different point in the maturation process. So
Let me ask you this new THC ban that got passed in the Texas House and the Texas Senate. Abbott is playing footsie with it.
yeah, I mean, because they passed one and then he vetoed it, and then they
Yeah.
just passed another one. So
How do you feel about that one?
I think so. Texas is very interesting because it's obviously very it's very there's a lot of things I love about Texas and the independence of it. I love like Texas is really like its own country. You know what I'm saying? That like
You goddamn right it is.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like voluntarily participates in the USA, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, its own thing. But you know, I like certain ideas of like small government and just like allowing people to, you know, do their thing, right? Um, but when it comes to but money influences everything. You know, so that's the only real reason why cannabis wouldn't be legal here. And I always say it doesn't matter in a world where alcohol is legal. It doesn't make any sense that weed would be illegal. And so in Texas, there's a lot of Republicans. There's a lot of you know, like the military, the veteran community. There's a lot of people in support of weed being legal and not banning. So I think that's why ultimately he didn't let that ban go through.
Well, I worked on the Republican side for the past almost 2 decades now.
Oh, wow,
I'm
okay.
getting old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
It's not the Republicans that are against legalizing marijuana. It's one guy, literally one guy in Texas, Dan Patrick.
Yeah,
our
the lieutenant governor is
I
wild,
was
bro.
18 or 19. I started campaigning for McCain, and he was a state senator then. I heard him in person say, "If it's the last thing I do in my political career to make weed illegal,
John
I would."
McCain?
No. This is Dan Patrick.
Oh, okay.
This is during around the same time. So this is 2007, 2008. I'm just a kid fresh out of high school campaigning for John McCain, and Dan Patrick was a state senator. I heard him in person say, if that's the last thing I do to make sure weed is not legal in the state of Texas, that would be the last thing I do. And he's the lieutenant governor right now.
Oh, wow.
And LT in Texas has a lot of power on what both houses do and how laws are passed.
So the Republican Party in general in Texas is in favor of legalization?
Mostly, yeah. The Republican Party have a lot of beliefs, but the problem is the leadership is like holding the leash.
Both parties are. It's the leadership is oftentimes not in tune with like the base or even the lower level. You know what I'm saying? Politicians in that party. So that doesn't surprise me. That's good to know though, because it always baffled me. Like there's so much. I think in Texas alone, the hemp market is like a $5 to $8 billion industry. It employs over 50,000 people in Texas. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense for it to.
It's a no-brainer. Like it's the tax revenue of it, the crime aspect of it alone. You're right by the border, so why would you want to give cartel a leg up to make more money?
100%.
Legalize it, tax it, so you can
just
like
regulate
monitor it.
Yeah, so you can monitor it. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a Republican Party platform. It's a Dan Patrick platform. Gotcha. Even Abbott, I think if he was up to him, he's gearing up to run for president. That's what the word is that I hear.
What do you think his chances would be?
None.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I
love the guy. Yeah. He's a great governor.
Okay.
I don't think at the federal level, because like on the federal level is who is the loudest.
Yes.
How much attention can you get?
Yeah.
And he's not the guy.
Trump changed the game, bro.
Yeah.
Politics is different now, man. You got to be a showman.
Well, granted, even before him, it wasn't
true. It's not like Barack was bad on camera. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not like Barack was bad on camera. Like
no, Barack.
You know what I'm saying? You've kind of you're right. Like to say that it didn't start with him. You've always had to be able to. Yeah.
To me, I'm like the bar got lowered and lowered, and I was old enough to remember the Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And when something like that happens, and
like
that's exactly
like the Lewinsky.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what's happening again right now with the Republicans and Trump and the Epstein list. This is where your moral get tested.
Yeah.
This is the moment you find out what you stand for and what do you allow to happen around you, and you're responsible for it. You might not directly have a hand in it, but if you complacent in what's happening, you're responsible.
Yeah.
Complacency, silence is responsibility at the end of the day. And we did that with Bill Clinton. You did what you did. You lied to your wife. You lied to the country.
You did, yeah.
He was still the golden boy till Brock came.
Yeah.
Then Brock became a golden boy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, so we were young when Clinton was in office, but I know he was the last one to leave us in a surplus. What else? Was it just the economy was booming at that time, I guess? Why is it that... we're so young, I don't know why he was held in such reverence, so I just knew that he was.
So,
you know what I mean?
One of the topics... I'm a big fan of Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
And the reason for that is he doesn't have traditional educational sense, like multiple bachelors. He went and self-studied, and that's what I like to do. I'm a big fan of history as well.
Same, bro. Same. History was always my favorite topic. In
What's
school.
the saying goes? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Repeat it. Yes,
And
sir.
so you got George Bush, the father, who's the president before Clinton. His first term says he's not gonna raise taxes. Read my lips. I will not raise taxes. He does end up raising taxes. So all the revenue that came from Bush the father, he lost the election, obviously, because he lied and he got caught. Then Clinton came and he reaped the benefit of all that extra money. We saw that for a while with Biden and Trump too. All the tariff that Trump put on the books did not go away when Biden came in. Biden took away almost all the executive orders except the tariffs.
Okay.
Because you know how many billions of dollars that was. In July, we had the most revenue. This past July, we had the most revenue.
Yeah, I think we've raised like 150. So, but something that people don't, that money is raised from us. It's
Of
raised
course,
from
yeah.
business and
Yeah.
consumers. Yeah, which is like that's not a bad thing necessarily if that's going to bring domestic manufacturing and stuff. I just think people get that confused. They hear $150 billion and they think that we got that from somebody else, but that's from us. And you could look at it as an investment in ourselves for sure, but it is coming from us.
It's always coming from us. I think Trump starts saying his stuff and people just take everything he said as face value. Like, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. Every dime that the U.S. government has come from us. Everything comes from us. There's no other country in the world that's like, hey, U.S., I love you so much. I'm going to give you $100 million. We do that to every other country almost. Nobody else does that to us. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Tariffs is ours. But ultimately, that tariff forced, we have, I think, 21 countries we have agreement with right now.
Okay.
They opened up their markets to U.S. companies. Every country out there in the world, except a few, North Korea, Venezuela. Even Venezuela. Citgo is owned by the Venezuelan government.
Yeah, like Sicko, like the gas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You go down Elridge, an energy corridor, there's a Venezuelan flag in the middle of Elridge and Briar Forest.
That's interesting.
And
I didn't even know that.
we consider them our enemies. They're boycotted. However, the oil, no.
Yeah.
We need that one.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. So you're not just an entrepreneur, you're an artist as well.
Yes, sir.
Any new projects you're working on?
Yeah, man. Thank you for asking. I actually when is this gonna drop? When is this episode gonna drop?
Next week.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So I'm actually planning on dropping something this upcoming Friday.
This is gonna be before that. So
okay, cool.
Yeah,
so yeah, be on the
good place
lookout.
to announce it.
I'm hoping to drop it. I'm just getting the final mix from my engineer. Shout out to Shy Books. Yeah, it was gonna be my first drop of 2025, so I'm very excited about it. I'm working on an album that I'm very excited about. Yeah, I'll have more on that later. I'll have to come back a little later on.
If you give us a little teaser, we will put it in here before your drop. That way they can get a little taste of
Absolutely
what Scott is about.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. We can't talk about hip hop and not talk about the big elephant in the room.
Okay.
Diddy.
Oh my gosh. Man.
So I want to know this. I have a lot of friends in the art world, and I hear different perspectives from different people. Are there gatekeepers to this industry?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And there's less now than there's I'm not gonna say that there's less now, but you can create your own pathways now that weren't available 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 20 years ago, as as an artist in any genre, really, you had to get in through a label, whether it be one of the big three or it was four at the time, but whether it's the the Sony's, Warner's, Universal, or it's one of their subsidiaries, or one of these independents, or it's radio. There's gatekeepers in radio. There are different gatekeepers in the game, and yeah, Diddy was definitely like. I mean, he made Ghetto Fabulous a thing. Like he brought hip hop mainstream in the '90s in such such a dope way, and he had so much success in the corporate side of things with his I forget what label Bad Boy was under, but and then starting Bad Boy and doing this whole thing. It's hard to say that he wasn't a gatekeeper. I don't know. So we grew up on like Making the Band, right? Did you ever watch Making? I loved all the Making the Band. So all I ever saw was Diddy giving opportunities to people. You know what I mean? And of course now we know it was a lot dirtier behind the scenes, but that's a very long way of answering your question. Yes, there are gatekeepers. Yeah, that was the question.
The problem I have is like every gatekeeper that I hear about, it's like these people are possessed. Like, to what extent you gotta be messed up in the head to do what Diddy did for as many years as Diddy did?
Yeah.
Like, this dude is running multiple companies. He's running huge empires. At the same time, he does all of this behind the scenes. Like, where do you get the energy?
Bro, I be thinking the same thing. I'm like, it's one thing to even have the urge. It's the second thing to have the energy, bro. There's only 24 hours. Where the fuck are you doing all this at? You know what I mean?
You gotta be possessed, like, or they're doping.
I really, well, yeah.
You're on steroids.
There's definitely drugs involved, but I think Diddy and people like Diddy are definitely, they're wired a little different. If you go back to, if you look into Diddy, it's not like this is new. You know what I'm saying? He's always been very impulsive. There's always been, I think his first legal case, he got like assault charge was in like 1990 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not new, and I don't think it's like the norm for the industry either. But I do think that absolute power, corrupts absolutely. So the more you rise and the more success you have, the more money you have, the more prestige, and the more people, the more yes men you have around you, it definitely corrupts people.
So social media, in a sense, reinvented the wheel of how you have exposure. Then, So that's a good thing that social media gave us.
Absolutely. Because where you used to need a label, now anybody with a smartphone can, distribute to the world.
So I'm gonna ask you this: if that's the case, then you have a lot more people that are involved in this too. So let's say back in the day, 100 people had to go through big label companies to create music. Now anybody can do it through the phone.
Yeah.
So you have the whole market being saturated as well.
And that's the downside to it, is that people have to sift through so much garbage to even give your song a shot. You know what I mean?
No, are they hear stuff that's AI created?
Yeah, and the AI stuff is, a lot of it's not bad.
No, I created a few stuff myself.
What do you, Suno or
yeah. But I had people use the same stuff and send it to me, especially like people a little bit older, like in their mid 40s and up. Not thinking that like we can hear the AI in there. They're like, "Hey man, I retired 5 years ago and I'm going into art." I'm like, "What are you doing?" Great. I'm like thinking he's gonna paint or something. He's like sends me a rap song. I'm like, "Bro, I know that's not your voice." Like, do you think I'm retarded? He's like, "No, I made few songs," and he sends me like 4 of them, and all 4 sounds different. And I'm like,
that's clearly not. But if you listen to 4 Scott Paul songs, they may all sound different, because I'm just such a versatile artist.
I'm just that good.
Yeah, no, but that's a trip with like people who aren't familiar, like just people who aren't good at using the AI, or who are. A lot of people don't realize how detectable the AI stuff is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all still needs a human touch.
It's the writing too. I'm not a fan of Twitter, but I'll go on Twitter because I like drama every now and then. I'm like, all right, I'll scroll for 5 minutes to see what people are talking about. And there's this like middle dash that's longer than a normal dash.
Oh, yeah. The ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yo, I swear to you, I was calling that like 3 months before anybody else was calling that. Because I noticed it so early on. And bro, going through my timeline is so exhausting.
This one right here. You see that?
Yeah. No, it's so easily detectable. It's like, just because I was talking to my girl about it, and it's like when you see somebody who's like posting their captions and it's clearly chat, you know what I'm saying, or posting these things in clearly chat. It's like, if you're not going to take the time to actually write this, what makes you think a person's going to want to read it? Take the time to read it. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
that's like the psychology that comes, because a lot of these posts that are clearly AI, they don't get the interaction, even though they're high quality, but it's because they're not authentic. And I think authenticity is still a thing.
Of course, it's a thing because that's humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not gonna be authentic, you're gonna let a computer write everything. Then what the hell are we doing here? But there are already shows, podcasts that are AI created too, and it's getting with those videos are
Like-
getting scary good. That it's
Oh,
like
like the VO ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, bro.
it's,
It's a wrap, bro.
the only thing I can
It's a
tell
wrap.
is like the quality is just like movie good, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
that can be.
No, bro, like there's tells, but
Yeah.
think about where like generative video was, AI video was last year.
It's
Trash.
wicked.
It was trash last year. Now you need disclaimers on it to make sure that people know that it's AI. In like 2 years from now, indistinguishable, bro.
They're talking about within a year or two, quantum computing is gonna come out.
You don't have to break that down for me. I actually don't know what quantum computing.
I don't have the brain power to fully break
Okay,
it down
word.
for you,
Yeah.
but the only best way I can explain it, because honestly, I don't understand it fully myself, the strength of it.
Mhm.
It's like 10,000 times is stronger than the biggest supercomputer that we have today.
And how accessible is that going to be?
Probably like around $50,000 to $100,000 a chip at this time.
Sure. Okay.
But I'm sure within a year or two,
Mm.
that price is gonna come down too, because like everything becomes second generation quickly now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this Google has this quantum computing chip called Willow, and it has proved multiverse theory already. Like multiple.
You say it proved it?
Yeah, it proved that it exists. Because for quantum computing to exist, there has to be something at that scale for this to exist. Because quantum computing is quantum anything is thing that exists in two places at the same time, from my understanding. I
Okay.
could be wrong, so don't quote me on it.
Yeah, we're gonna chat GPT this later.
I tried ChatGPTing it too, and I'm like, it doesn't
like explain to me like a 5-year-old. Okay,
It did.
Okay, now explain to me like a 3-year-old.
Explain to me like I'm a dog.
yeah.
And I'm like, I literally ask it, I'm like, how is this possible? Well, ChatGPT will tell you, it's like, oh, explain it in a different way. This is what we're just finding out right now.
Yeah.
How though?
Crazy.
If
It's crazy.
all right, let's talk about things that we can't control.
There you go.
Let's go back to the art.
Yeah.
You make good, clean music. A lot of music.
Some of it. Yeah. I'm trying to.
Compared to what other people do,
Yeah, for sure.
killing people, drug dealing.
Yeah, I don't kill people.
Not saying I don't listen to gangster rap
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
gym
Word.
because I want to feel
Yeah.
tough while I'm lifting weights,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
whole 15 pounders. But it's like, it's taking over to the point that like every song nowadays is something obnoxious. Especially, I have 5 little nieces. These girls listen to female artists. And I thought girls would be like listening to softer music, and girls would sing softer music, because like I don't listen to music that much unless I'm in the gym. And I'll listen to some of the songs. It's like Serena Williams or something. Not Serena Carpenter.
Oh yeah. Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know who this girl are.
Sabrina Carpenter's wild, bro.
Billie-
And that's a pop artist.
Yeah, Billie Irish or Eilish.
Yeah.
That's how ignorant I am of the people. But like, you listen to those lyrics.
Even Billie Eilish, she be going crazy.
She's talking about like committing suicide and stuff,
wow,
like
yeah.
super depressing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And like my nieces are like, it's the song sounds cool and happy, but you listen to the words, and those are the songs that's always trending. There's always this underlying message of like darkness or like violence. Why is that a necessary part of art of today?
So I don't think that's of today. I think about the music that came up, you know what I'm saying, that we came up on, like that was, our age. I think there's nothing that, like, I listen mostly to, like, the hip hop world. There's nothing that they're saying now that they weren't saying 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I think I think a difference in hip hop now, first of all, again, the distribution of it now is just everybody has access to it all the time. You used to have to wait until 5 o'clock on weekdays to watch a music video on TRL. but now anybody can pull it up on demand on their phone at any time. So it's just, you know, way more accessible, way more artists out there. And because there's more artists, there's more competition, it's more saturated. They're always going to feel the need to up the ante a little bit. You know, the shock factor, shock value has always been a thing in art and entertainment, from scary movies to hip hop to, you know, everything in between. It's about making people be like, oh snap, you know, what's happening, what they say, what they do. And there's so much that they're competing for right now. I think you're just gonna get more and more of that for sure. I think that's why we've seen, like, hip hop is the most consumed genre in the world now, right? But now we're also seeing the pendulum swing in countries kind of coming back. And I think that's I think to what
How much of that you got to give to the black artists coming into the country?
I think that's huge. I think that's absolutely huge. You know, so I don't really listen to country like that. But I know, like, Beyonce's, she just came back from tour, and that's the biggest country tour of all time. A lot of people I hear, you know, speak badly of, like, her doing country or whatever, but a lot of people like it, and it is country. Like, no matter what you think of Beyonce, she's making country music, and you can't say that she's not country. But yeah, Shabuzi with you know, the bar song, and how big that went, and that was so dope because he flipped a hip hop joint that we all came up with, you know, that we all came up on, and made that country. And, like, who thought that was a black dude when you heard the song? You know, like, I ain't fucking know.
To me, like, I don't know. I could tell.
Okay,
but, like, it's because a lot of people don't expect black artists in country till, like, recently. But, like, there was huge names in country.
Absolutely.
Darius Rucker.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of them that, like, previously that was in there. But
going way back.
it never went mainstream to bring outside audience in. People who liked country liked Darius. Yeah. Because they liked country. But
but there was also just a lot of talking about gatekeeping. Again, it was the record labels. Up until recently, it was the record labels who dictated who even had a shot at getting that mainstream success. And black artists weren't allowed in the hip hop. I mean, in the country realm like that.
Really, there was blockages.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And hip hop's, I keep saying hip hop, but country is not the only one there. But yeah, it's not like black people recently got into doing country. Black people have been part of the South. Black people have been part of, you know, black people have been country since there's been an American country, and they've been making music forever. But we're just hearing all these black country artists now, and I think that's because there's less gatekeeping.
Of course, and it's working out. It's bringing a whole new audience into the field too.
And that's why I think country artists aren't mad at it, because at the end of the day, there's more people listening to country, and if they're listening to that country artist, they have more of a chance of listening to your song as opposed to if they're listening to metal. You know what I mean?
And imagine how that's going to change the field within like 5-10 years. Some black kid that would never listen to country normally,
Absolutely.
Now he listens to country. He could become a greatest country artist of a few years.
Bro, 100%. You know who really set it off? Shout out Lil Nas X, man.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Shout out Lil Nas X. Bro,
yeah.
Yo, bro,
you're right.
That ass though. Think about it. Think about the timing of when all these black artists come on. And that was such a thing. Remember, that was such a controversial thing because it shot up the country charts. It was this like crazy thing that it like shot up the country charts because of TikTok. And then they took it off the charts because they were like, nah, this ain't country.
Yeah, he had to adjust it.
And then all these country artists came out like, no, that's when Billy Ray Cyrus jumped on a remix. It was like, nah, this is country. And then, you know what I'm saying? So that made the whole thing. So
you just blew my mind. You're right. Yeah. That was the starting point
Lil
of
Nas
bringing
X, man. You changed music, bro.
Damn. The things that come out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about a little bit of serious stuff. Yeah. You were vocal about the part that you take in politics and civics of any, because you grew up in New Jersey. You're here now. You're active in both places. I don't know how you find the time. So let's talk about the other big elephant in the room. How's your life been since Trump's second term?
You know, I'm not somebody who, like, my personal life isn't really affected much by who's in whatever office. But like the advocacy work that I do, for instance. So in New Jersey, I'm a board member of Northwest Cap, which is the biggest nonprofit in New Jersey. It's an anti-poverty
Awesome.
organization. We have over like 40 or 50 programs and services that help low-income people to, like the slogan is, creating opportunities, changing lives, right? So we give people the tools and the education, the resources to be able to make their lives better, right? So with this administration, a lot of the funding for things like LIHEAP, which help people with like with energy, pay for their energy bill, or Head Start, which is helps low-income people pay for childcare, specifically single mothers. Just a lot of different.
Was that tied
programs
to
like that.
USAID?
No, yeah,
No.
those aren't USA. Those are actually under the HHS, Health and Human Services.
And they were taken away?
No, they're everything's just being cut. So there's a lot of cuts.
Okay, there are cuts to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they being replaced with anything else?
No, bro, and that is my problem with a lot of these things, is that if you're gonna take away funding, if you're gonna say that this thing isn't reaping the whatever results that you want, so we're gonna take it away, and then you're not gonna replace it with something, then it just seems like you just didn't care about the people that are affected, and you needed a justification to, to remove that. Because like, it's crazy, man. Food insecurity now is worse than it was during the pandemic. Like during the height of the pandemic, there's more people going to food banks now than there were then. But the funding for food banks are being cut. So it's a scary time, like in that space. So to answer your question, how this administration has affected me, it's more so affecting the work that I try to do to help other people's lives be better. Because I'm the type of person that, like, I don't know, man. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. Like,
God is good.
God is so good, and God has been very, very good to me. So yeah, man. I don't look at anybody. I don't need anything from any politician or anything like that for myself. I don't really look at it like that. Of course, there are things that the president could do or these people could do that would make my life better. But like when I vote, I'm more so thinking about how it's gonna help the most like vulnerable person. You're an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have that in your background. So my family immigrated from Haiti, right? So she came here when she was 17. So I'm first generation here. I grew up single mom. Was on food stamps for a while. In many ways I had disadvantages, but I also have a lot of privileges, a lot of advantages that other people don't have, and I've also had people like Northwest Cap, the organization that I sit on the board of now. Growing up, my mom used to lean on that organization, and because of that, now she has her first son is a doctor. There's me who's doing all right, and then my sister, she's an educator. So there's a lot of good things that came from having a community of people, having resources to help us create opportunities for ourselves, right? So that's I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, that's important for me.
You got a good story, and the whole reason for this show, when I was thinking about starting it, is this. Mm-hmm. So you can bring your story, I can talk about my story, and every time that this happens, everybody walks over with a little bit more perspective.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
This culture has got created that, hey, if you don't fall in my lane, you're my enemy. I'm
like you're evil. You're evil or you're stupid. That's both. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where people on everywhere think. And it's like, so also like in my background, I was born down in Miami, but for the most part, was raised in New Jersey. And when we moved to New Jersey, I was in Newark and Irvington, which are inner city areas. And then when I was pretty young, my mom moved us to Sussex County, which is like a conservative, like white county, right? So I kind of grew up through a lot of my formative years, like called being a flying milk. Like I was the black guy surrounded by whiteness, right? And not even just white people, but conservative. It was just a lot of people who didn't have the perspectives that I have, but some of the best people, some of the like legitimately greatest people on earth, you know what I'm saying, met over there, you know, and had different ideologies and different perspectives and stuff like that. But they're also missing a lot because of, you know, kind of their
It's just one narrative that they keep consistently seeing.
yeah, you know what I mean. So I don't know. I just think it's very important to engage with people from different experiences because you know you do end up just thinking that people who don't think like you are the anomaly. You know, you think that they're the crazy ones. You think that they're evil. You think that they're stupid. You think that they're just think like that because somebody told them to. We're like, nah, they just went through something that, you know what I mean, got that perspective.
To me, the way I see it is a lot of people find the ideology that will make him feel good.
Mm.
Like I asked you about the Trump thing. And instead of going to something negative that he's done that you could bash, you took something that's important to you that you have a valid reason that you can fully resonate with. Hey, this organization helped me when I was in need, helped my mother. Now I'm gonna help it, not just helping them. I'm gonna help everybody else that they come in contact with. If I would have asked this, that's why you're sitting here, not everybody else. If I would have asked this of somebody else, they're like, "Oh, Trump said this, the Epstein list, something that it feels like you're the social justice warrior," and I do that a lot too. And to me, it's like social media. What sells?
No, absolutely, man. And I think it's an important part of being part of like community and like being around people and building real perspective there because otherwise, your like political priorities are like what your media sources tell you are supposed to be your priorities. You know what I mean? Like your perspectives end up being you just regurgitating stuff that you heard online and stuff like that. And you you know, like kind of making things I see people like prioritize like things when it comes to who they're going to vote for that have nothing to do like that it doesn't affect their life at all.
Of course.
Where they could be if they did focus on something that would actually affect their lives or affect the lives of their neighbors, they would probably vote different, you know, but they're not even thinking that way.
How much of that you think is the same gatekeeping that happens in the media world, but now instead of dealing with the artists and music and movies, it's in social media?
Everything is money, man.
Because the echo chambers, when my social media is a list this. Everything that I believe, it keeps putting it on that repeat cycle that shows 100%. It. I'm like, all right, I must definitely be right on my view. And Trump is a saint. He doesn't make any mistakes. He walks 100%. On water.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden was dead.
Yeah, like, yo, because you posted something, and I said, you know, this would be cool to talk about because you were talking about, you know, who's more like culty, you know, the left or the right, and you were bringing up these examples where, you know, like with the Epstein list and how, you know, a lot of Republicans are. So when we talk about Republicans and Democrats, let's Republican voters and Democratic voters.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people who vote whatever way don't actually self-identify with the party. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so to say like Republicans don't like they're quick to challenge Trump and challenge these things, and the Democrats aren't. I feel like for me, I was critical of Biden from very early. I know a lot of people that were from very early. I think the polling showed that the majority of Democrats didn't want Joe even running for the second term, let alone like when he did start running. There was a lot of people calling for him to drop out much earlier than he did. So I don't know if that's something that you didn't see. And if you didn't see that, like from my chamber, I saw that all the time. I saw so many lefties and so many Democrats, you know, calling for that, where I don't know if people on the other side are seeing that. In the same way where right now, there's a lot of people on the left that think like, oh, you know, no matter what Trump does, he's never going to get any pushback from his side.
So I did see it. I have a good chunk of my friends who are Democrats, and they privately...
Oh, snap. See that? That went fast.
No, quickly. Alrighty. Okay. I got you. Right. Well, our time is up for today. Yeah. But we'll have to run a second session.
Man,
so we're going to do a back-to-back session. How does that sound?
Absolutely.
But great conversation.
This was
And
dope.
to just cut this at the end, I think that I did hear a lot of stuff. I'm not saying I didn't, but there should have been more push. Right now, we see like Charlie Kirk coming out swinging a bat and saying like, "Hey, release the list," or
Oh, so he is now. Because I know
a lot of good.
Because I know for a
yeah.
second she was like, I'm done talking about the
Yeah.
Epstein list. Because I know Charlie Kirk that's Trump's boy. Like they're
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
but I have
yeah.
seen a lot of right wing pushback on it. You know,
Of course.
like
I'm one of them.
yeah, word, yeah. No, I've seen you heavy. I mean, but even Tucker and Candace, like you know what I'm saying. There's a lot, but we got to run this back, bro.
We run it back. Let's leave it on the cliffhanger.
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate you coming by, brother.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.